You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you haven't. I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners.
Like, everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive.
Imagine this: a dimly lit room, muffled conversations, and grainy footage surfacing online that has everyone talking. It's a clip that raises more questions than it answers. Justin Bieber, Odell Beckham Jr., and Trey Songz caught in what many are calling a compromising situation. But the real shocker? Jaguar Wright, the outspoken R&B singer and industry insider, has come forward to claim that this isn't just another wild party moment. Oh no. According to her, this video is part of a much darker narrative involving Diddy, the music mogul who has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons lately. Buckle up, because what we're about to dive into will make you question everything you thought you knew about the entertainment industry. Jaguar Wright, known for her no-holds-barred approach to exposing Hollywood's elite, recently sat down for an interview where she dropped bombshells that have sent the internet into a frenzy. She alleges that Diddy didn't just mentor Justin Bieber during the pop star's teenage years. He exploited him. And if you thought that was bad, Wright claims it goes even further. According to her, Justin wasn't just a mentee. He was passed around within Diddy's inner circle. Yes, you heard that right. Wright's words paint a chilling picture of manipulation.
Today, just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
But let's rewind for a moment. Justin Bieber was still a minor when he was discovered, a small-town Canadian kid with a big voice and even bigger dreams. By the time Usher and Scooter Braun got involved, Bieber was already on track to become a global sensation. His mother, Patty Millett, had prayed for good people to guide her son through the treacherous waters of fame. And for a moment, it seemed her prayers had been answered. Usher, a seasoned artist himself, appeared to take Justin under his wing, introducing him to the glamorous world of Hollywood. But according to Jaguar Wright,
in her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Now, Diddy's reputation in the industry has always been complicated on the surface. He's a charismatic entrepreneur, a hitmaker, and a larger-than-life personality. But behind closed doors, rumors have swirled for years about his so-called mentorship of young male artists. Jaguar Wright alleges that Diddy's intentions were far from innocent when he took Justin Bieber under his wing. She claims that Diddy's infamous 48-hour hangout with a then-underage Justin was the beginning of a deeply troubling dynamic. Let's talk about that 48-hour period for a moment. There's a now infamous video where Diddy is seen promising to buy Justin a Lamborghini. At the time, it seemed like a generous gesture from a mentor to his protege. But in hindsight, knowing what Wright has alleged, this interaction feels far more sinister. Shortly after this video was filmed, Justin did, in fact, receive a Lamborghini, a flashy, expensive gift for a teenager who had just gotten his driver's license. Fans and critics alike have since questioned the motives behind such a lavish present. Was it truly a reward for Justin's talent, or was there something more transactional at play? Wright suggests the latter. Her claims have reignited debates about the power dynamics between young stars and the industry heavyweights who claim to support them. But Jaguar Wright didn't stop there. She went on to describe a particularly disturbing video involving Justin Bieber, Odell Beckham Jr., and Trey Songz. In the footage, Justin appears visibly intoxicated, and Wright alleges he's engaged in behavior that is far from innocent. According to Wright, Trey Songz can be seen acting as a lookout, ensuring no one captured the moment on camera. Though, clearly...
Yeah, first time I smoked I don't suggest this, but I was 13. Yeah, 13, 12 or 13.
Let's not forget the context here. This isn't the first time Diddy has faced accusations of crossing the line with young male artists. Jaguar Wright has been vocal about other instances, implicating not just Diddy, but exposing a much darker culture of exploitation within the music industry. She has previously called out names like Meek Mill, suggesting that he too fell victim to similar dynamics during his rise to fame. Meek, for his part, has strongly denied these rumors, even taking to social media to assert his masculinity. a response that some viewed as defensive. However, Wright remains steadfast to her claims.
One of the allegations was that Diddy had the Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Immediately, people identified the rapper as Meek Mill.
What makes Justin's story particularly heartbreaking is the stark contrast between who he was in the beginning and the person he became in the years following his association with Diddy. In those early days, Justin Bieber was the epitome of youthful innocence. His songs were catchy, his smile was infectious, and he seemed genuinely happy. But as time went on, that sparkle began to fade. By his late teens, Justin was making headlines for all the wrong reasons: erratic behavior, legal troubles, and a visible struggle with his mental health. Fans couldn't help but notice.
It was just an escape for me. I was just young, like everybody in the industry and people in the world who experiment and do.
The drastic shift in his demeanor and began to ask the question that still lingers today: what happened to the sweet kid the world had fallen in love with? Clip 6. Jaguar Wright argues that the truth lies in Justin's formative years, specifically in his interactions with figures like Diddy. She points to footage where Justin appears visibly uncomfortable while speaking with Diddy. In one particular clip, Diddy can be seen patting Justin down, almost as if checking for a hidden microphone. Whatever was whispered between them during that moment, Justin ends the encounter with a hesitant, "Love you," a phrase that now feels loaded with unspoken tension. Wright suggests that Justin's team may have tried to intervene, attempting to shield him from Diddy's influence. But ultimately, they couldn't protect him from the harsh realities of the music industry. The fallout from these allegations has left fans stunned. Many who once dismissed Justin's troubled past as the reckless behavior of a rebellious teen are now reevaluating everything in light of Wright's claims. Could Justin's
did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
Struggles with substance abuse and mental health issues be symptoms of something far more sinister? Wright certainly believes so. She points to Diddy's notorious parties, events that have long been surrounded by rumors and dark speculation. These gatherings, often described as wild and unregulated, were allegedly the backdrop for some of the most disturbing moments in Justin's early career.
Still pretty early in the proceedings. I think it's only been about a month or a month and a half since he's been arraigned and held in detention. And so the investigations are always going to be a continuous and ongoing process. I'm sure at this point there's been an exchange of discovery. And not only that, but I think there's been a gag order placed on the attorneys with information that they can and cannot share. But more importantly,
Wright also draws chilling parallels between Justin's experiences and those of other male artists who crossed paths with Diddy. Take Usher, for example. As a teenager, Usher lived with Diddy, a time he has spoken about in cryptic and uncomfortable terms. In one interview, Diddy himself casually joked about sharing a bed with Usher, a comment that raised eyebrows but was largely dismissed at the time. Now, in light of Wright's claims, these anecdotes take on a much darker significance. Was Usher like Justin?
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
As the conversation around these allegations grows louder, so does the public's demand for accountability. Fans are calling for a thorough investigation, not just into Diddy's behavior, but into the broader culture of exploitation that seems to run deep within the entertainment industry. And while Justin Bieber has remained largely silent on these accusations, his actions seem to speak louder than words. In recent months, Justin has quietly distanced himself from Diddy, unfollowing him on social media and cutting ties publicly. But is that enough? Some argue that Justin has a responsibility to speak out, not just for himself, but for the countless others who may have suffered in silence.
When he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling, like, yeah, I kept the phone there and I recorded all that because I was like...
Tension. While some dismiss her claims as pure sensationalism, others see them as the tip of the iceberg, a chilling glimpse into a world built on power, manipulation, and silence. Now, let's dive deeper into this tangled web. If you thought the allegations involving Justin Bieber and Diddy were shocking, hold on tight, because the deeper you dig, the more unsettling this story becomes. The entertainment industry, as glamorous as it appears on the surface, has long been accused of hiding secrets darker than most people can imagine. And when you start connecting the dots between
a dope rapper, but I think sometimes Meek falls victim to I have to explain myself because they be playing with my name. And the more he responds, the more they.
Let's talk about Usher for a moment. Long before Justin Bieber entered the scene, Usher was Diddy's golden boy, another young artist with undeniable talent who found himself under the wing of the bad boy mogul. Usher has never fully opened up about his time living with Diddy as a teenager, but the few details he has shared are enough to raise eyebrows. In one infamous interview, Diddy casually mentioned that he and Usher used to share a bed. While Diddy tried to brush it off as a joke, claiming they were fighting over cereal or something equally absurd, the comment sent shockwaves through the industry. Why? Because it hinted at a level of closeness that didn't sit right with fans or industry.
Coming out. It's so funny what's happening with Diddy because this was inevitable.
Jaguar Wright has been one of the loudest voices shining a light on this disturbing dynamic. She claims that Usher's time with Diddy wasn't just about learning the music business. It was about being exposed to a lifestyle that no young person should ever have to navigate. According to Wright, Diddy's so-called mentorship often blurred the lines between professional guidance and personal exploitation. And the implications of that are deeply troubling, especially when you consider how Usher has spoken about those years in vague, almost cryptic terms. Usher has hinted at lessons learned the hard way, but he's never gone into detail. Could it be that he's still processing the trauma from those experiences? Or is he staying silent to protect himself and possibly others from an industry that punishes those who dare to speak out?
Saw in that video totally eviscerated his credibility.
What's even more telling is how Usher has quietly distanced himself from Diddy in recent years. While they still exchange polite interactions in public, the warmth that once defined their relationship seems to have faded. Some speculate that this distance is because Usher knows too much about Diddy's private life and too much about what happened behind closed doors. And if Jaguar Wright's allegations are true, Usher may be carrying the weight of secrets that could shake the industry to its core. Wright has even suggested that Usher's reluctance to speak out stems from something known as a trauma bond, a psychological connection formed through shared experiences of manipulation and control. But Usher's story isn't the only one raising red flags. Meek Mill, another artist who rose to fame under Diddy's watchful eye, has also found himself at the center of swirling rumors. According to Wright, Meek was allegedly involved in situations that mirrored what has been said about Justin Bieber and Usher. She claims Diddy's influence extended far beyond professional mentorship, involving personal dynamics that were anything but appropriate. Meek has, of course, denied these allegations. But his public reactions have only added fuel to the fire. His emotional outbursts on social media, where he's lashed out at critics and aggressively defended his masculinity, suggest a man who feels cornered, either by the rumors or by the truth they might reveal.
Now, to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
One particularly infamous photo often cited by fans when discussing Meek Mill's relationship with Diddy shows the two wearing matching pajamas at what appears to be a private gathering. On the surface, it might seem harmless, just a quirky fashion choice between friends, but when viewed in the context of the allegations surrounding Diddy, the image takes on a much darker meaning. Was this truly an innocent moment? Or was it reflective of a deeper, more complicated dynamic? Then, there's the viral video of Diddy casually calling Meek daddy during a poolside hangout. Again, this could be dismissed as playful banter, but in light of the claims,
those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff.
The most chilling part of this narrative is how easily these dynamics have been hidden in plain sight. Diddy's larger-than-life persona has always been a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's made him one of the most successful and influential figures in the music industry. On the other, it's allowed him to deflect scrutiny, using his charm and charisma to obscure the darker aspects of his reputation, and for years it worked. Fans and industry insiders alike were quick to
realm. This is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
One of Jaguar Wright's most shocking claims revolves around a so-called freak-off party video, footage she alleges Diddy sold on the dark web for an astronomical amount of money. According to Wright, this video contains explicit content that could not only incriminate Diddy, but also expose several other high-profile figures in the music industry. While these claims remain unverified, the mere possibility of such footage existing is enough to send shivers down your spine. If true, it would reveal a level of corruption and exploitation that goes far beyond what most people are willing to imagine, exposing the darkest, most twisted side of the entertainment world.
Clip 16.
And then there's Justin Bieber, a young star who, despite distancing himself from Diddy in recent years, still seems to carry the emotional scars of those early experiences. And his 2020 interview.
It's a question of that, but when you read through the indictment, it's pretty clear who could be indicted as a co-conspirator. Right now, there are people in the indictment who would be considered unnamed co-conspirators, but clearly have played a role in this conspiracy. And I think prosecutors have some big leverage on them because they're hoping that they testify against Diddy as prosecution witnesses.
It is evident that this story is far from over. As more details continue to surface, the public's demand for answers grows louder. While Jaguar Wright has bravely shed light on the darkest corners of the entertainment industry, it is now up to us to listen, question, and demand accountability. At the end of the day, this isn't just about Diddy, Justin Bieber, or Usher. It's about creating a world where young artists can chase their dreams without fear, manipulation, or being forced to pay a price that no one should ever have to endure. As the curtain falls on this shocking expose, we are left with more questions than answers. Could Justin Bieber's struggles be the direct result of the alleged exploitation by Diddy and his inner circle? And if so, how many other young stars have suffered in silence within this toxic system? The dark reality of the entertainment industry is slowly being revealed, and it's up to us to demand justice and accountability.